Hello everyone, and welcome back to another thrilling installment in the best type for every game series. Last time we were here for the fairy typing and what was a rather short installment, but this time we've got the steel type, which brings forth many cold and hard Pokemon. Now, as we know, this is one of the 3 typings to be introduced after red, blue, and yellow, so we could have a slightly shorter list than usual, but it's all good. I guess if nothing else, Magneton would be the only steel type in Gen 1, but since it wasn't officially at the time, I'm not going to get into any hypotheticals and all that. Instead, we won't waste any more time and just get into the deal now and start at Gold, Silver, and Crystal. So, with this debut generation for the steel typing, we had a few options to go with in these Johto games. I didn't really feel it would be Skarmory, and in the case of these games, it wasn't necessarily Magneton. Now, I feel as though the Pokemon to go with here is Steelix, as it has a much better move pool than Scizor. However, you need the metal coat to evolve an Onix, so you're gonna have to find one. The only way to get one before post-game is to catch a Magnemite holding one. You'll have to search Route 38 for one and roll the dice on it. Once you have the metal coat, you trade around Onix holding it and you'll have Steelix. So it'll be a little hard to get, but this is really early days Pokemon. What isn't hard to get? Steelix has amazing defenses, as we all know. Base 200 on the physical end, which is very nice. Its offenses are pretty nice too with the typing. It can learn Earthquake, it can get Iron Tail right after you beat Jasmine, and hey, Rock Throw isn't so bad. Steelix just offers some good stuff with the move pool it's got, and its defenses allow it to take some hits, which you've got to respect. Steelix had steel in its name for Arceus' sake. It had to be the choice. Next up, we have got our choice for Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, and this pick is going to be Agron. It's a great choice, man. Agron, much like Steelix, is a great defensive Pokemon. It's got 180 base defense, though in this case it's actually stronger, having base 110 attack. You're able to get access to Aron pretty early on at Granite Cave in Dewford, so you'll have your steel type early. And by level 42, you'll have Agron. Its move pool sells it well, with Metal Claw being available early on to Aron, and then moves like Earthquake and Rock Tomb backing that up. There are just some strong, useful moves in that pool of Agron, and it really doesn't have to be explained much beyond that. It's a shame that Metagross isn't available, but we make do, no? There isn't much to say for Fire Red and Leaf Green. It's Magneton because that's the only steel type. It doesn't get much out of its steel typing here, but you know, electric type moves out of it can be solid. Alright, so for Diamond and Pearl, I went with quantity of time over quality of battler in a way. Lucario could easily be chosen for these games, but you just get it so late in the game. Honestly, while I've chosen Bronzong for some best teams, and I've already sung the praises of Steelix in this video, I think going with Empoleon for Diamond and Pearl as the best steel type is the correct course of action. You can get a lot of using Piplup in the early game, and at level 36, your Empoleon will be unlocked. It's got powerful water moves of course, but also a great attacking steel type move with Flash Cannon, and it can use Ice Beam for some powerful coverage. It just feels like the best steel type to go with for longevity's sake. However, in Platinum, I think that Magnezone is the better steel type to use in the long run. You can get access to Magnemite at the Fuego Ironworks after you get Surf. And then at level 30, when you have Magneton, you can easily head over to Mount Coronet and access the magnetic field, which causes it to evolve. Magnezone is super strong at base 130 special attack, and its move pool has 2 great stab moves in Flash Cannon and Discharge. It's worth it to pick Magnezone over Empoleon this time for the sake of it adding on the electric typing to the steel type, which would allow you to pursue better water type options than Empoleon. So, for Heart Gold and Soul Silver this time around, the answer I am going with isn't Steelix, but instead Scizor. See, things are a little better this time around on Scizor's move pool. So much so that it edges out the defensive beast in the Return the Johto. Its base 130 attack is obviously as great as its 100 base defense, but that 65 base speed is actually pretty decent compared to the other steel types in the region, which I feel is worth mentioning. Its move pool improves a bit from Gen 2, now having Bullet Punch, X-Scissor, and a few other very solid moves. Now, that said, Steelix is still a great choice, with a very nice move pool of its own. So if you're more sold on that being the best for these games, I can't fight you on that. It makes sense. For now though, the technician that is Scizor is my pick for best Heart Gold and Soul Silver steel type. Alright, time for the highlight of the video. Black and White, where we are forced to pick from only a pool of Univin Pokemon. This wasn't exactly hard. You guys know the best answer already, so I'll keep it brief. It's Excadrill. The thing has Mole Breaker for an ability, base 135 attack, and it's available early enough that you can tear through a large portion of the game with it. You'll be able to use Earthquake, Metal Claw, Rock Slide, you name it. Don't look elsewhere at the Steel typing in Unova among the general Pokemon population. You won't find better. Well, that's to say, don't look further among actual Unovan Pokemon. When we talk about Black and White 2, it's a completely different story. And you guys know exactly where I'm going with this. You can get Riolu super early in the games, and that means Lucario is the pick for this entry. You can't go against Lucario under most normal circumstances, as it is such a varied and powerful Pokemon. You're basically handed Riolu in the early parts of these sequels on the ranch, and since you just need to build a friendship with it to get Lucario, you can have this Steel type super early on. Close Combat and Aura Sphere are in the pool, though learned pretty late into things, so Brick Break and Force Palm are two moves that can be turned to for the fighting stab, while on the other end of things, there's Iron Tail for the really good Steel stab if you don't want to do Metal Claw. It just depends on how much the low accuracy bothers you. Lucario is a beast, and even if you don't do too much with its Steel typing, it's still the best Steel type to go out and use for the long run. Okay, so for X and Y, the answer is either simple or stupid. If you want the stupid answer, it's Aegislash. You just have to enjoy enrolling the dice on Inver constantly to try and get a Duskstone on Route 18. However, if you're looking for the simple, more normal answer, it is again Lucario. You get it from Corina, it Mega Evolves, it's got good moves. Is there really anything else that needs to be said? Of course not. Alright, let's go to Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, where I have two answers similar to the last videos in this series. So, for Omega Ruby, it's going to be Mawile, and for Alpha Sapphire, it is Agron. Both of these Pokemon Mega Evolve, and in the case of Mawile, it goes from being useless to absolutely incredible when it does Mega Evolve. My god. As you know, it has a great typing, it gains huge power, and moves like Iron Head and Play Rough come out of the woodwork to put in some real power. You won't be able to Mega Evolve until after the 5th gym, but there are definitely some battles you can send Mawile in for, and it'll do well just based on its great typing. However, you've got to use Agron and Alpha Sapphire, and that is just fine. It Mega Evolves too, it's got an enhanced move pool with stuff like Iron Head and Rock Slide, and you can get Auron in the same place you get Mawile. It's a fantastic secondary option for a game without Mawile, and I fully enforce using Agron when you're looking for a Steel type in almost any game if you aren't always trying to use the exact best. Alright, on the Sun and Moon, and Ultra Sun and Moon as well. A lot of factors went into my answer for these games. I had to think about how good a Pokemon was, the longevity, and the quality of other options. I came down to one Pokemon for both releases. And it might not be the most popular thing in the world, and I'm sure it'll cause a lot of conversation in the comments. I'm gonna go with Magnezone here. Now, looking over the Steel types in Sun and Moon for a moment here, there's some really good ones, like Metagross, Lucario, and Scizor. So with those being there, how did I come with Magnezone? Well, it's quite simple really. You can get Magnemite at the start of the game. A big issue of Sun and Moon that was corrected in the Ultra games was where the magnetic field was. It's a bit later into things here, actually being in the same area where you can get Metang. It made a lot of sense to me though, to have Magnemite on a team early on, and then eventually turn into Magneton and evolve into Magnezone, instead of getting Metang at level 30 and training it all the way up to 45 so it can evolve. As we know, Metagross is very good, but I don't think the minimal amount of usage you'll get out of it overshadows having Magnezone and its line for the entirety of your playthrough. In Sun and Moon, it can use great moves like Discharge and Flash Cannon, which for sure plays in a region like Alola, with several strong water and fairy types hanging about. It just makes sense to me for how long you can use this line for, and in turn, be the best Steel type option. And honestly, it gets better in the Ultra games. Now, you've got move tutor moves like Electro Web, which can be used to help slow down opponents in a playthrough, and Magnet Rise, which gets rid of the most glaring weakness Magnezone has. If you guys want to think about using something like Alolan Trio, that's fine in a playthrough, unlike in competitive. It's actually pretty good with a strong move pool. I can understand that argument, but for me, I think it's Magnezone. Speaking of, Magneton is the play for Let's Go as well, for obvious reasons. Alright, so wrapping this up, we will talk about Sword and Shield here. There are so many Pokemon to choose from, but one is quite frankly above the rest due to something we've spoken about many times in this video already. It's available right at the start. It also helps that it is very good. Corviknight is nicely defensive and has a decent attack stat that plays well into its impressive move pool. We're talking Brave Bird, Iron Head, Body Press, you name it. It can really put up a great fight against a lot of gym leaders regardless of the version you're playing. And of course it can Gigantamax, which is a nice little bonus. It's sort of just a perfect storm for Corviknight because there are plenty of other Steel types available later in the games like Lucario, Excadrill, Aegislash. All of those honestly, they're great. And if you think they're better Steel types, then I'm pretty sure you couldn't go wrong with them. Though, for me, I really think that Corviknight is the best Steel type you could use in a playthrough of Sword and Shield, and it's also very nice competitively. Let me know what you guys think down below. I want to hear your ops on this one. I'm sure this choice might ruffle a few Rowlet feathers, but I often like to give my opinion on some of these and then hear what you guys think. So that'll do it for this video. The Steel typing is very good, and there was a ton of variety today. It's hard to go wrong when you're picking a Steel type for a playthrough, and there aren't many typings like that where so many of their Pokemon are just very good. Next time, we'll be tackling the Fire type as we start to enter the finale of this series. It's been a fun one, but we're definitely not done yet, so be on the lookout. Hey, welcome to my new outro. A big thank you to everyone for watching the video. I want to give a huge thanks to my phenomenal team, and for the amazing art done each week by Danny the Demon. I couldn't do all this without them. If y'all enjoyed the video and want to see more content like this, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Be sure to leave a comment too. It really helps us out. I have a brand new TikTok for Mystic Umbreon, and I've got a goal to get 10k followers over there. If we can hit that goal, I'm going to pick a random video suggested to me by you guys and do it. So go over there and leave a follow. Also, over on Mystic Sage, we've still got 2 videos going up every weekend. We've got content from My Hero, to Demon Slayer, to Dragon Ball, so come and check it out. And also check out Mystic Sage on TikTok. Finally, I've got an Amazon store where I sell tons of cool stuff. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm Mystic Umbreon, and I'll see you next time with some more amazing Pokemon content.